In today's video, we are going to be talking about living wage. A living wage is defined as a wage that can meet the basic needs to maintain a safe, decent standard of living within the community. The basic needs of an individual usually include shelter, food, water, and other incidentals such as clothing. The amount that must be earned per hour to meet these needs varies depending on location. In Florida, the state minimum wage rate is $8.10 per hour, while the minimum living wage is around $11.15 per hour. Ethically speaking, the justice principle is a good way to describe the setting of a living standard. The justice principle is defined as the moral obligation to act on the basis of fairness between competing claims. As such, it is linked to fairness, entitlement, and equality. As human beings, we are entitled to a salary that provides for our basic needs. A living wage is a fair way of setting a standard for the amount of money we should be making in order to provide for our basic needs. There are two motivation theories that explain the way we do things, and in this case, the way we pick careers. The two motivation theories are extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic motivation occurs when we are motivated to do something based off of the desire to get an external reward or to avoid a punishment. Intrinsic motivation occurs when the sole purpose of doing something is self-rewarded and there is an internal desire rather than an external desire. If we correlate these with jobs and careers, we find that many people with intrinsic motivation make a relatively higher amount than those with intrinsic motivation, but they are also a lot more likely to be unhappy. Those who use intrinsic motivation are probably receiving a minimum or close to a living wage because they are doing something that they love rather than something that is only rewarding them externally. Unfortunately, some people cannot choose what they love because the wage is too low to live by. There are some cases where making a minimum wage is just not enough no matter how enjoyable the job is. This is because you are going to face unhappiness if you aren't making enough to scrape by and are always distracted by financial stress. According to the study done by Kahneman and Dayton, there is a certain living salary that ensures happiness and overall satisfaction with life. This happiness tipping point is at a salary of $75,000. Anything below this living salary brings financial stress, emotional pain, and unhappiness. While anything above it doesn't increase the margin of happiness, it only increases how successful they see themselves. There is a direct correlation with this tipping point in an individual living wage. If an individual is not making enough to support themselves, they will find themselves to be miserable. Maslow's hierarchy is a motivational theory comprising a 5-tier model of human needs. The 5 tiers are physiological, things such as food, warmth, and water and rest; safety needs, things like security and safety; belongingness, love and needs, things like intimate relationships and friends; esteem needs, things like prestige and feeling of accomplishment; self-actualization, things like achieving one's full potential. Maslow stated that people are motivated to achieve certain needs, that some needs take precedence over others. Once that level is fulfilled, the next level up is what motivates us, and so on. With the proper living wage, one can continue to climb up the pyramid. Progress is often disrupted by a failure to meet lower level needs, and this can only be done when someone is making a living wage and nothing below it. Having minimum wage, overall living wage, is very important to the well-being of individuals and should highly be considered when wage is being factored into life's decision.